Alright, so I got this nice new cluster from John at the Fox shop. And yeah, let me show you how to do this. It's so simple. Alright, so say you got your cluster. Alright, now you get it all cleaned up first, which I've already done. Alright, and it has a bunch of bolts. Now you see there's a big empty spot there already. It's because I've already done this. Alright, it's that simple. Alright, so you get your screws out. There's screws here, 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 and here. So when you remove all your screws, alright, you take that off. Oh, do I gotta, yeah, one more screw. Here we go, one more screw. Bada boom. You take that off. Now there's this, oh, don't want to do that. Now there's this plastic thing on here, right? Take that right off. Now, when you have your cluster will have this in there, alright? But all you do, alright, is pop it out. They pop out very easily. This is the first piece that goes in there. And then you'll put these pieces in, and then these pieces, they go over it. Now all I did is I took my fingers, right, and I just started to pop it just a little bit and wiggle it with my hands, and they popped right out super easy. I will show you when I put it all back together. I wasn't gonna get this far in depth, but since I'm here anyways, I figured I would throw in a couple quick tips from my point of view. I'm not a mechanic. In fact, I'm pretty bad at mechanic work. But if I apply myself, I can get pretty much anything done when it comes to these trucks, because they're simple. This is the cluster that I got from John at the Fox shop. It's already installed. I had made a video, but it got erased. So yeah, there it is. Now after installation, everything seemed to be working fine, but my voltage meter, when I turned the truck on, let me show you. When you turn the truck on, it doesn't want to work. And if you bang on the dashboard, it goes up. That's no good. I shouldn't have to bang on my dashboard for it to work. So I have already taken, oh, turn off that radio. I have already taken out the motor from this one here. They are very simple to pop out, and that's what I wanted to show you. At first I was very afraid to even swap out. Let me show you. I was afraid to even pop these out. Now they pop out right with your fingers. Of course this one's all taken apart, but I mean they pop right out and you can pop them right back in. I have already replaced my speedometer into there. So now I'm going to replace the voltage meter out of there. And plus there was a couple dead light bulbs I wanted to swap out. So let me show you how I saved myself some time. Alright, so first you got to pop off this this lighter here, and there's a little hole in it where you stick something in it and it pops out. Pretty simple. Then you pop off this trim panel here, this one here, and same thing with this trim panel here. Get those two screws out, which I've already done, 1 and 2, and you're pretty much ready to take out the cowling, or the whatever this thing is called. Now what I do is I put my keys in, put my keys and take it down to first. Let it focus. Take it down to first so it's easier to get this off. So you can slip it around the top of the steering wheel. And then before you can completely pull it out, yeah, there we go. Alright, now there's a little tab on the back here, right here. That's for your fuel switch. Now my front tank doesn't work, and the first time that I did this job, I forgot I was messing around with that button, and I hit the button up to front. So when I went to start the car, it wouldn't start. So remember, you got to plug that in, and if a lot of people have these tank problems, if one of your tanks ain't working and you can't start it, that's probably your deal. Alright, so now let me show you what I did to make this job a lot easier on myself. Now if you see here, you have a bunch of screws that go around this whole thing, right? Alright. Now you also have the screws that hold it in. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the other corner, which I'm missing this one down here, right here. But what I did is, because there's 2 screws, and one in the top corner and one in the other corner of the actual faceplate itself. Now these 2 screws are impossible to get with a screwdriver, or mostly anything. I mean, I'm sure if I went up there with a little wrench or something, I could probably get it out, but it would take forever. So to easily be able to remove this face, what I've done is I left this screw and this screw out. I'm sure it's not going to affect anything. It's just a plastic cover. But what I did that for is so that I could remove this complete face and remove this black ring that goes around it to make it easier to pull in and out. Not only that, when you pull this thing out, you have to disconnect the shifter cable to, got a little glare there. You have to remove the shifter cable from the cluster. It slides downwards. Well, it's kind of tough to get it out, but you can do it. But to get it back in is pretty close to impossible. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. I've done it, but it's not fun. But what I've done is I've left them 2 screws out so I could pop out this whole cover, because the easiest way to put it back in is to put it back in without the cover on. Now if you take off this black piece and this here, it leaves you a lot more room to be able to fit it. That's how I get it in and out a lot easier. So just my little trick is I leave this screw and this screw out. I saved the screws because, you know, maybe one day I might want to put them in. I doubt it, but yeah, that's what I do to save myself a little bit. So let me get to unscrewing this thing and get this done. Okay, come on, screw. There we go. So, bada boom. Alright, where's my keys? So now, it's as simple as this. Let me show you guys. Not even with a screwdriver, just with my fingers. I'm gonna pop this whole unit out. The first one comes out because they come out in order. then the one I'm after is going to come out. And it's right here. Oh, great. This is shifting around on here. I'm going to need some glue, guys. That might even be my problem. It might not even be that this is bad. I mean, there's a little bit of dust on the connectors. But if you look, the actual piece of paper is sliding. And I think that's maybe, you know, one of these guys might have tried to scrape off the color behind it. Who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and swap it out anyways, just to be safe. I don't want it to, yeah, it looks pretty toasted behind it. You know what? Even that fuel gauge. How does mine look? Mine looks brand new in that. You know what? I think I'm going to swap both of these out. That way there I could pull the whole thing apart. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this entire, you see the piece of paper it's moving, or plastic is just sliding around. I'm going to pull this whole thing apart, take all of it apart, and replace it with mine out of the old cluster. So let me show you how we do that. There's 2 screws in the back on each one. Alright? Then these just simply, now they're kind of hard to pull. They pop out. But what I like to do is I like to wait until I have the screws off so I could pull the unit to use the plastic as a flat, you know, base to pull it so you're pulling it straight. Because that little pin is really thin and small, and you don't want to bend or ruin it. So let's see if we could do this without ruining it. So first of all, we take out our screws. You know, the only reason I'm really making this video is it was almost like non-existent to find the this is what I was looking for. I seen about 100 videos on how to change your cluster, but none of the videos touched on how to swap, you know, these little gizmos and gadgets out of it. So what I do is I press down flat on here on the plastic piece, and I pull equally on the back. Boom, and it pops right out just like that. That simply just popped out. And this one just looks a little dirty and a little messed up compared to the one that I have. So I have to remove the other 2 screws from the other unit. So here we go. Alright, like I said again, you push down flat on the plastic piece, right? Push down flat on the plastic piece, and then equally with your thumb and fingers, wrap it around and pull straight back. Oh, come on, baby. There we go. So, as I could see, the glue on these came out. Just gotta go and get myself some super glue now. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. Got myself some super glue, and now I am going to super glue my piece back on here. Just a little dab there, a little dab there. Take some of that, put it on that side. I think that's even too much. Yep. That's too much. I'm never gonna get this fucking thing off. Oh well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to let this sit for a couple minutes. This entire time I've been using maybe 3 different tools. One of them is this star wrench, which the star wrench has got me through, you know, 90% of the bolts. And it's 2 different star wrenches, and I think you might need a couple different smaller sockets. but I just use the ones that hook up to the screwdriver. They seem to be a lot easier to deal with than a socket wrench or something like that with an extension or what have you. So, boom. There's the first one. Okay, now for the gas. So, like so, you put your screws in. Nice and easy. I could see some light through the hole on the battery, and what it was is the little piece of paper was loose. So it was probably leaning right on the actual pin itself, and that was probably what was making it hold. And that's why when I hit the dashboard, it would go to where it was supposed to be. I mean, it was functioning, it was just being restricted. But, you know, I just switched them out. Let's hope that these ones work, which they came from my cluster, which was working, so I think they do. And then you pop your pin on, make sure it's in. You just push them down. I don't even think you hear them click. They just sit in position. All right, so since this was the first one out, all right, everything is done here, right? Yep. Put that back together, put the bulb in. Okay, so this is the first one that goes back. And right back into the holes and right into the spot it goes to. And then we have this piece that I've placed in the corner here. And same deal with that. Pop it right back into place. Now I'm sure when you're doing this, you're probably not going to be doing it like me. You're probably not going to be doing it inside the truck. You'll probably be, you know, inside your house on your table or whatever. The reason I'm in here like this is I left that bolt out. I made it so it's easy to deal with. Even replacing that light bulb, I mean, sure, it was a little pain in the butt, but it wasn't that bad. Because when you take that plastic off, it gives you room to move in there. So, just take a minute to think here. I just want to make sure everything's back into place. Okay. So we're looking alright. So what I'd like to do now is place this back into where it goes. So the way to do so is, I believe, like this. So we'll start placing our screws back in reverse order. And yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. So there she is, guys. My new cluster that John sent over. Grabbed it out of a Bronco. I believe John's from Idaho, something like that. Somewhere way far away from Massachusetts. This part came from a long, far way away. But yeah, she's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, she looks good. So thanks a lot, John. Appreciate the part. Thanks for grabbing her for me. Definitely. So to everybody else, yeah, have a good one.